On Nationwide this evening, how an All-Ireland tussle got Waterford thinking of its sporting history, and that led to an exhibition of the highlights.
You're welcome to the programme and to Waterford City, and shortly we'll be bringing you a story about a new sporting exhibition at the Waterford Treasures Museum. Talk about heritage of a different type now, Waterford's sporting heritage. Last year's amazing journey by the Waterford hurlers, which culminated in their encounter with Kilkenny in the All-Ireland final, got the curators at Waterford's Treasures Museum thinking about showcasing the county's sporting history. And next week, a new exhibition will open featuring Waterford's past glories. Niall Martin has the story.
Most of us have some piece of history hidden away in the attic, and we don't even know it. Old photographs, film, newspapers or mementos all help build pictures of history. At Waterford's Treasures Museum, they decided to put out a call for people to check their attics for a new exhibition of the county's sporting history.
The people are the curators, the people who decide their own exhibition, what's going to go into it. They bring in the stuff, we construct the exhibition around what they decide. For example, this calendar here, 1960, celebrating the great win of 1959, the team captained by Frankie Welsh that brought the cup back to Waterford. You see the teddy. That teddy is dressed in the blue and white, the Waterford colours. We'd love to find that teddy again, match him with the calendar. Maybe he's out there somewhere. If you have him, please bring him in and we'll put him on display for our exhibition on Waterford sporting memories.
Already a lot of the county's sporting history has arrived into the museum's workshops to be assembled for the new exhibition.
Well, these are three objects that from our collection so far. For example, this cup, which is presented to Jim Weir, the captain of the 1948 winning All-Ireland hurling team. We also have this framed photograph, which is actually two photographs. Again, Jim Weir, who captained the 1948 All-Ireland hurling team, and Frankie Welsh from 1959, both of them, of course, with the trophy, the McCarthy Cup. Another remarkable object is this album, really, a child's album dealing with soccer, and especially the glory years of Waterford soccer in the 1950s, especially 1960s and 1970s.
But Waterford's sporting moments don't come much sweeter than that 1948 All-Ireland hurling final.
The Naas Road presented a busy scene as cars sped towards the metropolis. In fact, before noon, it was clear that this was All-Ireland hurling final day, and that meant crowds, and it also meant spectacle. And so began that ever-inspiring march past of the Artane Boys band and the team, Waterford led by Jim Weir.
And Jim Weir's daughter Christine will be including her family heirlooms in the new exhibition. While her dad was at Croke Park, her mother was at home minding the children.
We had a radio which was operated on a wet battery, and she listened to that match. So she sat on the steps, she told us, outside the door. The three of us could run around in the garden, so she wasn't interrupted. And when the match was over, she noted that the fuchsia bush at the door had no flowers left on it. She'd been so tense listening to that game.
Waterford had made history by winning their first All-Ireland senior hurling title. Smiling Jim Weir, he receives the cup from Mr. Dan O'Rourke.
Mummy always wanted to share what was really, as I say, belonged to the people of Waterford. And when Waterford won the All-Ireland, in 48, I mean, there was no communications as there is today. So she answered every telegram, every letter that came from immigrants who felt in a way, I think, cheated because they weren't at home for this match. One person that stands out with me is a Father Michael Ahern from Cappoquin. He was in Oregon, and he wrote and asked that the cup be brought to his dad, who was an elderly man in Cappoquin village. And Daddy cycled with the cup. I mean, there wasn't transport. So he used to set off with his cup on the carrier of the bike in the evening after work, the fine summer evenings, and he brought that cup everywhere he could around the county.
Giles, Oh, it's a great footballer's pass. What a player Giles is. This is Hale.
Alfie Hale is one of Ireland's soccer legends. Alfie played football for Waterford United, Aston Villa, Doncaster Rovers and of course Ireland.
Given, nice football by Ireland.
Now Alfie is about to donate his international caps, medals and memories to the museum.
Now I wish I had more memorabilia of the 60s than I have, but I happened to gather up a couple of caps from my daughter and my two sons, and I've also surprisingly come up with something from the Manchester United match in 1968. It's a 9-carat gold tie-pin that was given to all of the players and all of the official party by Manchester United, and we were treated like royalty, and that was just one of the little things that struck us as we were dealing with a world-class club. The other thing here that I have that we just managed to save would be the 3 medals that were part of Waterford's 6 league championships, and they would be the 3 in a row.
History doesn't have to be all about valuable artefacts. Sometimes it's the everyday objects that tell important parts of a story. Take the museum's latest acquisition, for example. Donncha, it's a bucket.
It's a bucket, yes, and it's a turf bucket. And it was made by Samuel Woods in Waterford around the year 1830. It's very significant because Samuel Woods had established took over a brass foundry in Barnstrand Street on the site of the present-day Pennies. Examples of his work are very rare. We'd love if people looked in their attics or in their garden shed or under the stairs. If you see anything by Samuel Woods, stamped with Woods of Waterford, we'd love to put it on display here.
The museum are also interested in silverware bearing the engraving of a noted 18th century craftswoman, Anastasia Fleming. And they're missing 2 important Waterford Corporation minute books from 1689 and 1690. So if anyone has these or anything else they think might be interesting, bring it into the museum.
Well, just to remind you that exhibition opens in a week's time and it should be well worth a visit. Now, you brings us to the end of our programme for this evening. Hope you've enjoyed our visit to Waterford. Don't forget about that sporting exhibition which starts in a week's time at the Treasures Museum. And by the way, the best of luck to the Waterford hurlers in this year's championships. Up the Daisha. Well, we'll be back with you on Monday. Agus Kadishan on the Hainier of Wirren. Agus O'Chahar Fort Lorige, Iwahagwif. Winigi Tanivasa Gader Shachtana. Agus Kadesha Slán.